me that you party with girls. I told her that I party with friends. Do you wanna talk to the girl? She told me that you gotta have a rollie.
Hey, I am Delphine, and if you know me very well, I love perfect braids. So I'm gonna show you some of my pictures here of some of my braids.
Tell me what you want from me, my baby. I can get you diamond rings and pearls tonight. Oh, shimmy, shit. Tell me what you want from me, my baby. I can get you all the finest.
You will need hair. I've used black. I used some yellow. I asked my mom to get gold and she got me yellow. It was okay. I've used a pack of 4, so I cut it in 2 and I pulled it, and that means 8 packs. I've also used some Vaseline. Just once in a while I've touched this part when I'm braiding, and it just makes it easier to braid. This hair that I've used is not a very bad hair. It's Superstar Darling. It's really good because, you know, like when you use the very strong one that is like AstroTop, when you do this you feel so much pain, but this is so easy to do. And if you look at the bottom of my braids, even though I've penciled it, I've not had to sit down for hours to pull it up. This delivery outside is serious. Do you hear the truck in front of my house? They put sand, they put bricks, they put a whole skip and more. My whole bath is in front of my house because I changed the bath, I changed the toilets. You just open my door, you see 2 toilets there. I'm not complaining. I'm just glad we finally did it. You know, when you have just one child, there are many things you don't really think about. You don't think about space. You're just content with whatever space you have. But when you have 4 kids, it's a whole different ball game. The room that she sleeps in, she sleeps with us because I'm awake, you know, throughout the night. So what is there for her to be sleeping in a different room? She's just gonna be crying, and I'll be jumping out of bed to go pick her up. So I'm quite excited to have this space because my first son, yeah, he goes to a grammar school. The second one is gonna go to a grammar school or private school, and he has the 11+ in September. I don't want them to struggle at school because, just in case you don't know, the grammar schools here in England are super selective. There are a few, maybe 2 or 3, that are just called grammar schools but would admit anyone. But the grammar schools in Kenya are super selective. That means that like when my son did the test, they were 14,800 and then they had spaces for just 750 students. So super selective just means they take the best of the best. So what I don't want is for my kids to be, what's the word now, choked up, because even I feel choked up sometimes.
Try to, I can never lie to, cheat or despise you. The love that I have for you, you're underrated girl, cause a man wanna wife you.
This is really big. I'm trying to use it to feel the gaps here. What I'm finding is, because the hair is so short, it's pulling out, so I really have to pick it I always thought it was other people's hands that were tight on my head, but the pain I feel from my own hands is like, wow, how can you self-inflict yourself so badly? Just because I'm trying so hard to make sure that this stays tight on my head. So it's almost the last one. I'm just gonna tie this so that when my little Baba wakes up, I can sit down and do this. Oops. Oh, yeah, that's tied. And I'm gonna put in the last one. And I'm happy. Hope he likes the hair. So that's important. You know, men, yeah, some of them just like long hair or some hair. He's not been a fan of my short hair at all. You know what he told me yesterday? He said, you're coming back. And I must confess, I have been far away since I had a baby. When I'm pregnant, I glow. And then I have a baby and I think, what happened to me? And then it takes me a while to bounce back. And that's why you have to have a loving husband, you know. If not, can you imagine if every time we're pregnant, our husbands are looking out there? How it's gonna be? Oh, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.